Hello and welcome to the Business Spotlight interview series. I'm your host Sonali Nigam, and today I'm joined by Karim Kassam, founder at Horwood House Hotel. Hi Karim, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, no problem at all. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Would you like to kick us off with a brief background as to who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Karim Kassam. I am the owner of Horwood House Hotel. It's a country house hotel situated in Buckinghamshire, 42 acres of grounds and a beautiful sort of country house that was built in 1911, and associated hotel facilities that have been tagged on over the years since it's changed from a residence into a school into a hotel finally. Something that I bought in 2019, just pre-COVID, and I've been working on as my primary business. Actually, it's my primary sort of source of income. It's where I spend all my time. It is sort of a bit of a passion project as well as something that keeps me going every day.
That's just lovely. And we were talking before the interview how you started it and where you are currently with lots of awards already in your kitty. So, can I quickly ask this? What do you attribute your growth to?
So I think the growth itself comes from, I guess, your own aspirations, what you believe you are capable of doing. You need to have your clear vision as to what where you want to be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. I think you need to really have the belief that what you are doing is achievable, and you don't stop until you get there. So I think it's having the right attitude, and it's not something that just comes. It's not something I can say I was born with. I think you develop those skills over the journey in life that you face, whether it's right from your early school days through to the various roles you might face in a professional capacity until you're running your own business or you're investing in your own business. And I think it's key to know that it's not there immediately. It's something that you learn to develop and develops inside you all the way through life, I think.
Mhm. That's very interesting, Kareem. And when you said, to have that right attitude, to have that right mentality, when we talk about COVID, of course, it impacted largely to many businesses. And as I said, we were talking before the interview, there were lots that you have. The phases that you have been through. So, what would you say were your biggest learning as an owner of the business running successfully?
So I think the biggest learnings for me, I think have been I think it's been around my attitude to others working around me, within the project. So it's like I said, it starts with taking the plunge and having the belief in what you're doing. But it's also about understanding that you're going to make lots of mistakes. You're going to have lots of failures. And however cliche that sounds, actually you only learn from those things, and you have to realize you're going to learn from them. And no question is too stupid to ask. You know, I remember being when I was younger at school. Like I said, all of this stuff develops as you grow. But I remember being at school and not putting your hand up in class if you knew the answer for something because you didn't want to sound stupid in front of everyone. But actually, when you get to the professional world, you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to say something stupid because you only learn by doing that. And it's something we try and instill actually in the team here at all levels. So, I think imp the team, I don't like, saying staff, but the team, however young, whatever junior role they're coming into, it's the same thing. I like to tell them to be curious, to ask questions, to make mistakes, so long as they're learning from them. Obviously, we don't want people that are going to make the same mistakes over and over again, but to make a mistake is absolutely fine. And I think I tell them about where I've come from, what I've done, and again, a lot of who I am today is because of the mistakes I've made and the learnings that I've had in that journey. So I think that's quite a big thing.
Karim, the school story resonates very much with me. I was same, so I could. That's why I was smiling at that time when you said so. But then, completely makes sense. It's only when we make mistakes is when we learn, and we learn what not to do and what to do more, so that we don't do that. So
Correct.
completely agree with that. Um, you mentioned one specific point here, and which is where I paused for a moment, which was team. You said I don't want to call them as staff. It's my team. So what qualities do you look for in your team or in employees that and how do you foster a positive and a productive work environment?
So I think the if I start with the second part first, so fostering the correct environment, I think I very much see myself as part of the team. So the team will see me out and around in the hotel. I'm not an owner that likes to sit tucked away in my office demanding this, that, and the other. Obviously, there are requirements that they need to deliver as a team, as a leadership team, as a junior team in terms of, reports and financial statements and all of the usual boring stuff that I then need to obviously be held accountable for with the banks and the other sort of stakeholders, I guess, in various capacities. But actually, um, I like to be around the team. I like to engage on the floor with guests quite regularly. You'll see me sort of standing around reception. You'll see me in the sales office talking to the accounts and finance team, wandering through the spa just to make sure that's it. So I'm very much sort of part of the team. I don't see myself as a boss, and I think the team know that of me, and I think that's quite key. Like I said, ultimately I am responsible for everything, and ultimately I am the owner. But I don't go around shouting about the fact that I'm the owner. If that makes sense, there's a very different way
Yes.
of presenting yourself, and I think you need
Yes.
to be humble. Everything is about humility and integrity and all of that. I'm all about that, to be honest.
That's just commendable. And I'm still waiting for you to let me know what qualities do you look for in employees when you hire them. I
So
mean,
I like to have them see what I'm like, and so I like them to be genuine. I like them to want to learn. Um, there are always going to be, when you have a hotel like this with 130 or so sort of team members, you're always going to have people that are just here to serve a purpose for them, as in to get a job, to earn some money, to do something. They don't really necessarily want to be here. But out of our 130 team members, we have, I think, 80 odd that are permanent staff, and the rest are casuals because we have a big food and beverage operation, and obviously that can be seasonal, and so you don't have them on your books all the time. But the people that are here like ongoing, and actually even a lot of the casual team, um, you want them to be engaged with you. You want them to be curious. I like the team to be asking questions as well, just like I have learnt to ask questions. And because we're an independent hotel, we like the team. We let the team know that we want them to come up with some sort of, crazy ideas that might not work in a standard international sort of branded hotel or a bigger professional sort of organization. We're all about, thinking out of the box and delivering like genuine hospitality from the heart, we like to call it, because we're in hospitality. It is all about being kind and being genuine and being hospitable to all of our guests. So I think we like team members. It's not necessary what background they've come from, but it's important that they understand the culture that we have here at the hotel, that they need to sort of fall into that, and learn and develop in this environment.
interesting. Talk us through how does your daily routine of yours look like? I mean, of a highly productive owner looks like. Can you talk us through your daily routine?
Yeah, I think every day is different. I think I would say that. I am not one to let sort of, I don't have fixed timings for anything. So really, apart from dropping my daughter to school most mornings because it works out that that's the time, we leave at the house at the same time. So,
Right.
so I use the journey, which is about sort of 60 to 70 minutes into the hotel to sort of, I guess, prepare for the day. It's a very nice drive in. We're in the middle of the countryside, so actually there's really it's just nice to start the day with that type of environment, even if even if the weather's, terrible, it's still the, beautiful English countryside is great. Um, but you get in, I'll walk through the hotel, I'll stop in the sales office. So I don't go straight to my office. And sometimes you'll see me 3 hours after I've got to the hotel, still carrying my bag around because I haven't made it to my office yet. So I spend very little time in my office. But actually, I spend a lot of time with the senior management team, and I'm actually quite blessed to have a management team that are on my level. We think the same. My general manager is an Irish lady, Caroline Moroney. She has been with me now for 3 years, and actually, we have a very similar mindset and a very similar work ethic. Everything we like to deal with as it comes up. We don't like things to pile up. We are very hands-on with the team across the different departments. So you'll find us all in different parts of the hotels. You'll have the team that sometimes joke that we both need trackers on us because you can never really find us around the hotel unless we're scheduled in a meeting, obviously. So, you'll do things every day that don't form into a standard routine, but you'll get everything done in a day. And I guess I'll take work home with me as well. So I'm usually on emails, whether it's early in the morning or whether it's sort of later on in the evening, but just to keep on top of stuff. And for me, that's I think it's part of my life. It's like I said, I'm invested in the business. I'm invested in the success that I want to come out of it. So it doesn't really stop for me. But I think you have to have that sort of work-life balance still. It's important to keep that.
Well, two questions are coming up in my head. I'll cover second first because you talk about success, and because I want this interview to be the most, filled with learnings. Can I quickly ask what challenges are you currently facing? Because when you try to build an empire for yourself, of course, you go through a lot of phases. So, and those phases might be challenging as well. So, what are the current challenges that you're facing, and how do you address them?
So current challenges, I think there's a lot around the team and the general state of the economy, things like the budget and the impact that's going to have. So there's challenges around profitability, and I think in the journey that we've had at Horwood House, so with the whole redevelopment and repositioning that we went through during COVID, where which changed a lot in terms of what I was planning to do with the hotel initially when I purchased it. Um, I think we are now in a place where 2025 will be our first really strong, stable year. Every year we've grown year on year, which is great, and we're ahead of where we're projecting to be, so that's always great. But for me, it's not all about profitability. It's about building the name of Horwood House in the local community. It's about building the venue as the best wedding venue in Buckinghamshire, as the number one choice for sort of 4-star residential conferences in Buckinghamshire and in fact nationally, because we have people and companies from all over the country that come in to use us for those sorts of things. So I think that the challenges are about not getting caught up in the success you've had already. You have to be forward thinking. You have to continuously change and review where you want to get to. And I think some people fall into complacency there. And I think I've maybe had too many learnings in life where you learn not to be complacent, not to become complacent.
Mhm.
So I think that's a challenge that works. And again, I've sort of instilled into the team that that's the type of character I am. They know what I'm like. They know what to expect with me. I'm very honest, straightforward. I don't waste time in trying to, trying to sort of fluff something up to make it sound anything other than it is, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I think that's a big challenge for people. I think with the budget we've just had, the additional costs companies are gonna incur from the increased national minimum wage and national insurance contributions and all of that stuff, I think will all have an impact. But again, because it's not about the money for me, uh, obviously it is about the money, but not, purely the money.
Surely. Yeah.
You just have to make sure you're still growing in the right manner. I think that's important to understand what you want out of something.
Wow, wow, that's just inspirational. And I will quickly now ask my first question because we've covered many aspects about you. So one thing that you talked about that you are always on your emails even when you go back home. So how do you strike that perfect work-life balance that you said? I mean, how do you, put a balance between the personal and the professional life?
So it's obviously very difficult, and I don't think there's a set formula that works for every business owner because I guess people are invested in different types of businesses with different sort of objectives as well. So for me, I'm able to switch off when I need to switch off, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So
Yeah.
yes, we like to travel. We'll go on a family holiday once or twice a year. We're lucky to be able to do that. So when we do go away, I will still be checking emails first thing in the morning and last thing at night. So I'm not completely, out of the loop because I like to understand and keep in touch just to make sure that the team know that I'm also there for them. But
There.
at the
Yeah.
same time, I think the family understands what my journey has been so far. So they're supportive of the time and the effort, I put in. I've got two older sons now, 20 and 22. They've been in and they've both done shifts around the hotel helping out. So they understand what that journey has been like for me, what the team think of me, what everyone around the hotel sort of has bought into the fact that it's very much a family owned and operated business. So I think it helps to have that overlap. It's difficult to keep it apart in that respect. My wife came in and helped with setting up the spa and the gym facilities because that's her background as well. So, I think having everyone involved in the journey has definitely helped to make one side not jealous of the other side, if that makes sense, in terms of where I'm spending my time.
Yes, of course it does make sense. And I'm sure our audience have learned and picked so many things. So, Karim, is there any closing remark before we wrap up or a golden nugget that you would like to share with the audience?
I think there's two or three very quick things that I would say. It's about not being, and this is not just for business owners, this is about for anyone. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because you only learn and grow in whatever you're doing by making mistakes and learning from them. Obviously, don't make the same mistakes again and again. But also don't be afraid to ask, seemingly stupid questions because again, until you've asked the question and you know the answer, you're never gonna learn, what the answer to the question is. Um, and I think finally, you need to just take some time, however much you want to drive and continue to grow, which is what I'm like. You need, as someone told me one time, actually just stop, take a step back, turn around and look where you've come from and what you've achieved in the last 6 months or 12 months or 5 years or whatever period, because actually you then realize how much you have sort of done in that time frame and how much you've learned and don't just look forward, acknowledge where you've come from and appreciate where you've come from.
Wow, my heart is full of gratitude right now after listening what you've just said. And I'm sure everybody must have enjoyed listening to you. So thank you so, so much for your time today, Kareem. It was great meeting you and knowing your journey. And to everyone watching, I look forward to see you in my next episode. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kareem.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.